It is customary to recognize certain forms of courage. First and foremost is the pure and sublime courage, its beauty lauded in prose and sung in verse throughout history. The endowment of elevated characters, a virtue regarded with reverence, awe, and envy, the sole prerogative of man. Such courage is eminently attractive from its being effortless and natural. It's characterized by equanimity and outward calm, and neither fear nor anger approach it. It is quiet, unruffled. Its tranquility contrasts strangely with the power and energy it wields. The immense esteem in which it is held proves it to be rare. And at that we may leave it, not forgetting that women as well as men have contributed in no small measure to its irresistible appeal. Joan of Arc, Florence Nightingale. Psychologically, this form of courage represents the complete success of the process by which fear is kept out of consciousness. This process, which is wholly unconscious, is called suppression. Secondly, there is courage in spite of the presence of fear. Unlike sublime courage, this form has received but scant attention in literature, and yet most of us would allow it to be one of our commonest modes of reaction to danger. The almost pointed way in which fear is ignored by the essayist suggests a disinclination to face facts which appear unpalatable, and reflects a habit of mind, both of writer and reader, which prefers to arrive at comfortable conclusions rather than the truth. This method of dealing with unwelcome experience by professing to ignore it is, I believe, far less general than it used to be, and people nowadays are inclined to think with more honesty and less pretense. This advance has been greatly facilitated by the war, and especially is this the case with our views concerning courage. It is true that no one quite likes to admit feeling afraid, and such slang expressions as wind up, cold feet, and needle, which enable us to talk freely about fear without actually naming it, are evidence of this natural disinclination. It was recently my privilege to listen to the evidence given by many eminently brave men before the War Office Committee on so-called shell shock. They all knew what fear was, and few of us would hesitate to admit, in the words of one of them, and incidentally, one of you, that all men know fear. Some conceal it better than others, a few bury it out of sight, but it is there all the same.